and it is also called as Web of Science. So, or you can say there are two types of indexing databases: Web of Science and Scopus. Web of Science was started and maintained by Thomson Reuters. Then later it was acquired by Clarivate Analytics. Now it is maintained by Clarivate Analytics. And Scopus is being maintained by Elsevier. And so you should know the difference between site score and impact factor. So impact factor is given for some journals, which are coming in the Web of Science category. And Scopus is giving some factor, giving some score. That score is called site score. Okay. So often we should confuse between a site score and impact factor. Okay. So site score is given by Scopus. Impact factor is given by Clarivate Analytics. Okay. So under Web of Clarivate Analytics is the company. Clarivate Analytics is maintaining a database called Web of Science. Under Web of Science, there are so many categories of indexing. So, for example, we have Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Science Citation Index Expanded, then CPCA, Conference Proceeding Citation Index, then CPCA and Arts and Humanities, we have separate indexing. Then we have a Book Citation Index, we have Emerging Source Citation Index. Okay, so under Web of Science, there are around 12 category of indexing under Web of Science. Okay, so Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE. So even now you are able to see in some sites and some places you are seeing SCIE, Science Citation Index. But as far as the Clarivate Analytics is concerned, SCI, there is no existence of such database called SCI. SCI is not at all available. But when you look into for any job application or when you look into for apply any funding, still they are maintaining something called SCI. But SCI is not at all available. That database has been merged and converted as SCIE, Science Citation Index Expanded. So this is a database. Okay, I told you for some journal, for some journals or for journal indexing, some factor is given, that is impact factor is given. Okay, so under Web of Science, the journals which are having impact factors, the journals which are having impact factors called Science Citation Index Expanded. Okay, so SCIE journals will have impact factors, and as well as SSCIE, Social Science Citation Index Expanded. Okay, so SCIE journals will have some impact factor. SCIE journals will have some impact factors. Okay, so other category under Web of Science, ESCI, then CPCA, Conference Proceeding Citation Index Expanded for Science, Conference Proceeding Citation Index Expanded for Arts and Humanities, Book Citation Index. So these categories will not have impact factors. Okay, if a journal is having impact factor, then the journal may be either Science Citation Index Expanded or Social Science Index Expanded. Okay, so you should primarily understand. Okay, so if you find impact factor in a journal website or a journal, then it is under this category. Okay, then you should not ask. So if you are finding some impact factor for the particular journal, then you do not need to worry about whether it is under SCA or not. Okay, only journals which are under SCA category will have impact factor. Okay, then parallelly Scopus is giving site score for their journals, site score. Okay, so you should not confuse with site score and impact factor. Site score is different. It is maintained by a separate database. Impact factor is maintained by a separate database. Okay, so Scopus journals are the journals which are listed in the Scopus category will have something called site score. Okay, and also we often confusing about 𝐓𝐚𝐻 journal ranking, and a journal JCR ranking, journal citation report. Okay. So 𝐓𝐚𝐻 journal ranking is maintained by 𝐊𝐨𝐯. Okay, it is maintained by 𝐊𝐶R and Scopus. Okay, so SAR ranking is differentiating the journals into different quartiles like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 with the help of the site score. Okay, site score. Okay, but whereas the journals are differentiated as or grouped as Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 with the help of impact factor, then that list is prepared as journal citation reports. Okay, so you should have correct clarity. JCR, Journal Citation Report, is released by Clarivate Analytics, and the quartiles of the different quartiles are maintained with the help of the impact factors in this JCR. Whereas the SJR is maintained by Elsevier, and it is maintained by, or it is grouped as Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 with the help of site score. Okay, right. So we have Web of Science database and Scopus database. But as far as I told you about, the quality is with respect to the person who is viewing. Okay, there's a perception. But nowadays, there is in the research community. In the research community, the quality journals are being spelled out only by the impact factor. You should clearly understand. It is not being spelled out by site score. That means if a journal is quality journal, then they are saying that SCAE. Since we are all from engineering, SCE journals are often spelled out as quality journals. Okay, and these quality journals are being classified with the help of the impact factor. Okay, so impact factor. So rough calculation is impact factor. How many number of it is for the particular journal? It is calculated as how many total number of articles they have published. Okay, so then how many articles have been cited by other authors? So by by the researchers in the other journals or in the own journals. Okay, so how many number of citation and how many number of articles published, based with the help of these two data, they are calculating the impact factor, and site score also is being calculated in the same way. Okay, but when quality journals are quality journals are being set as SCAE nowadays in this perception among the researchers or the research community or whoever the accreditation agency. Accreditation agencies are considering the science citation impact factor, science citation expanded journals are the quality journals. Okay, so how to find whether the journal is in SCAE or not? How to find whether the journal is in SCAE or not? Okay, so there is some list called master journal list. List called master journal list. So let me click. So this is the website where you can find a particular journal is in SCAE or not. Okay, or which is under which database, that can be seen here. Okay, so you can have. I'm typing a journal, additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing journal. So you have to type the journal name, additive manufacturing. Okay. So the additive manufacturing journal is Science Citation Expand. It's a SCAE journal. It's a SCAE journal. Okay. So here you have to check whether the journal, the article which is going to be submitted in a particular journal, whether it is in SCAE or not. So that can be checked in this particular website, mj.clarivate.com. There you will be able to find out whether the journal is in SCAE or not. Okay. Okay. So clearly understand. So because I am facing a lot of researchers, so if a journal is having a impact factor, then it is SCE journal. Okay, and SCE journal is being used by science and humanities people. That is different. Okay, that also will have impact factor. Okay, and also there is no database called SCI, Science Citation Index. There is no database, even though in a lot of forums, lot of accreditation agencies, a lot of funding agencies are mentioning as SCI. SCE is not available. Okay, that has to be removed. So soon it will be refined. But SCE is not available. Only SCE are available. Okay. So in this subject, you will be able to find out whether the journal is in SCE or not. Okay. And so if it is not SCE, then it might be Science Emerging Source Citation Index. It may be Emerging Source Citation Index, maybe Conference Proceeding Citation Index. So based on the input what we are giving, so based on that, it will be giving the database. Okay. And also, for the standard journals, you may be knowing, for the journals, standard journals, what I have given, like Sage, Taylor Francis, Elsevier, Nature, and Wiley, MDPI, okay, ASME, ASTM. So these are the journals. When you look into the website, if they mentioned as under the indexing informations, if they maintain as SCIE, then you can believe that you can submit your articles. But for non-standard publishers, okay. Oh, some of the publisher websites, when you look into the publisher website, they might have given some impact factors, and also they might have given under the indexing information as Science Citation Index expanded. Okay, so if it is even mentioned also, then you have to check in this website whether it is under SCA or not. Okay, so you have to confirm with this. Sometimes the journal may be in verification, or maybe in consideration. Okay, so you should not submit to the such type of journals. Okay, so even though for the non-standard publishers have mentioned in their website as Science Citation Index expanded, so you have to ensure with this website whether it is correct or not. Okay, and also I face a lot of issues from the researchers. Some website they may have given in the some advertisement or something else. Okay, if you go through this website, you will be able to know. You may be knowing it is under SCA, but you should ensure whether that is the correct website or not. So how will you ensure the website is correct or not? Then what you have to do, you have to go for view profile page. Okay, so here, so we have a subscription, so I am able to check. So sometimes you can try for free login also. So here you will get the information called journal website. Okay, so here you have to click. Okay, so you do not need to worry about the standard publishers. You do not need to worry about standard publishers. When you go for submitting a research article in the non-standard publishers, then certainly you have to ensure, or you have to approach the website through this way. Okay, so there is this way. So in this information you will be able to see, and also, so what is the journal website, publisher website, you will be able to know, and the frequency of publication you can know from this, and how many issues per year, so that you will be able to know from this. Okay, and also you will be able to about the indexing information like SCAE, it is indexed in SCAE. Okay, and also you will be able to find out the JCR impact factor, the 2020 what is the impact factor, and 2019 what is the impact factor, and how it is varying. Okay, and journal citation impact 2021 also you will be able to see from this. But if you have full subscription, you will be able to see that. But for in 2020 it was 1.95 and 1.70. But in the impact factor, now it is very high. Definitely it's very high. So that you have to ensure. Now the impact factor is around more than 9 or 10, I hope. Okay, so that you can share. So how will you share the impact factor? Now it is for 110.998. Okay, so this is a current impact factor. Okay, so for standard publishers, you do not need to ensure the websites, but for non-standard publishers, you have to go through this way to ensure whether you are submitting your article in the correct website or not. Because a lot of fake journals are available. And even daily we are getting so many mails. So in that mail, they are giving some informations. But when you look into that, and most of the research articles are submitted from India. Okay, so even I am talking about the Scopus journal articles also. So they are sending the mail that this the journal articles are indexed in Scopus, and the journal might be similar to that. But when you look into that, if you look into the research article, most of the article might be from India. So you have to ensure whether it is indexed in Scopus or not. Okay, so that also I will tell you how to go to the Scopus website to ensure the correct indexing. Okay, so this way you can ensure the quality publications. Okay, and you have to go through master journal list. Okay, and how will be the quarter list? I told you, so Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, so a separate quarter list is maintained by your Web of Science. A separate quarter list is maintained by Scopus. You should not confuse often. Okay, so if someone is saying Q1, you should ask, it is based on JCR or SJR. Okay, so it is the Q1 which is based on JCR. That journals are called as quality journals. Okay, so the Q1 and maybe some replica. So Q1, what you find in the JCR, maybe in Q1 in the master journal list of what we call in Plagiarism also. Okay, maybe similar, but as far as when you think of quality journals, you have to check only in the JCR list and JCR quarterly list. Okay, quarterly list. Okay, and see, another one thing you should know: mostly all the SCA journals might have been indexed in Scopus. All the SCA journals might have been indexed in Scopus, but all the Scopus index journals might have not been indexed in JCR. That you should clearly understand. Okay, so all the SCA journals might have been indexed in Scopus, but all the Scopus journals might not have been indexed in SCAE. Okay, so that you should clearly understand. Okay, so let me show the quarter list which is maintained based on the JCR. Okay, so this is JCR list which was released based on the 2020 citation reports, and if they are generating the JCR report for 2020, then it will be released on 2021. Okay, so for 2021 they will calculate all the JCR impact factors, then it will be released on 2022. Soon it will be released. Okay, so as of now we have the report which was released in the 2021, and it is based on the JCR 2020. Okay, so see, journal's name, category, and impact factor, and JF quartile. Okay, so these are the quartile lists. Okay, these are quartile lists. So this is the impact factor. Okay, so and also if a journal is having high impact factor, may not be a Q1. Okay, journals which is having low impact factor may not be Q4. Okay, so it is based on based on the area in the research area and scope in the particular list. Okay. So see, it's the Q1 list. See, Q1, even though it is having 0.58, 0.165, 0.16, 0.156, 0.133, 0.108, it is in Q1. You understand? It is in Q1. But see, 8.10, impact factor is 8.109, but it is Q2. It is Q2. Okay. So you have to clearly look into the journal and database and before submitting this. Okay. So impact factor is not attributed to the quartile of the journals. So that you have to clearly understand. Okay. And the Q2 list. See, even though it is 2.762, the journal is in Q3. But 2.762, 0.1 maybe in Q1. Okay. See, Q2 0.087 is Q2, but 4.703 is in Q3. Okay. So like that, the quartile, so impact factor is, impact factor does not attribute to the, you cannot attribute the impact factor to the quartile list. Okay. So that you have to clearly understand. Okay. Okay. So this is about JCR. Okay. So in the research community, in the perception of other agencies, accrediting agencies or funding agencies, the SCA journals are considered as quality journals, and while submitting that, so you have to follow. Come here. So you have to look into this, and you can follow this, or you can ensure before submitting your research article. Okay, but when you are publishing in the earlier stage, in the early research stage, you can try for Q4, then you can go for Q3, then Q2 and Q1. So you can move in this way. Okay, and some in the if you are if you are confident enough, straight away you can submit to your article to the journals which are in Q1. Okay, and also in the same way, the Scopus AJR maintain the Q1 Q2 list, as I said. Okay, so if you want to check whether you are what we call, whether you are the journal which is going to be submitted is in Scopus or not, can be ensured by this way. Okay, so this is to check whether your article is in Scopus or not. Okay, because nowadays Scopus is highly refined, so they are often refining their databases. So before submitting your article, you should ensure it is in Scopus or not. So how will you ensure? You have to go for sources. You have to go for sources. Then you can select the title, and you can submit your journals. You can type your journal which is going to be submitted, and you can find out this. Okay, and you do not need to much more worry. That is, if a journal is under ACE category, it might be in Scopus. Mostly, 99% will be in ACE. Okay, but you cannot say whether all the Scopus indexed journals are in ACE. That you cannot ensure. Okay, so here also you can see, and you can download the Scopus source list also. You can download the Scopus source list, or you can check in the live also, in the live. And for example, I am typing additive manufacturing. Okay, so site score is 11.6. It's a very good journal, 11.6. So you can click here. Okay, so that you will know how the site score has been calculated in the previous years and current years, and when it was indexed in the Scopus from 2014 to present. Now it is in the Scopus. Okay, and they are having SJR ranking, and okay, so they are calculating SNP ranking something else. Okay, and you can see view all documents. What are the documents submitted? Okay, see until 2000 recent articles, 2000 until 2022, recent articles have been indexed in the Scopus. Okay, and also, as I said, in Scopus also, there are, when you go for ACAE, the non-standard publisher are very limited. But when you go for Scopus, there are a lot of non-standard publishers. Okay, and before submitting the article to that type of journals, first you should ensure whether it is in index or not. It is Scopus index or not. That you have to ensure primarily. And also you have to ensure whether the recent article published in the particular journals have been indexed or not. Okay, so if the articles have been indexed as now it's January, right? At least the articles which have been published in November should have been indexed now. Okay, so if they have more backlogs, then certainly either there may be a delay for the published articles when you publish in the journals, or articles may not be indexed. Okay, so simply the journals may be indexed in Scopus, but your article should be indexed in Scopus. Okay, well, if it is not, if they are not following the standards, your article submitted may not be either indexed, or sometimes after indexing also, if it is found not worthy, then they will remove your article from the Scopus database. Okay, so you have to ensure. Okay, first you have to ensure in the database whether it is available in the source list or not. Even if it is available, then you have to go look into it, whether all the documents, you have to go like here, view all documents, and you have to go to the journal website, and you have to check for the recent published list or 1 month before published list, and you have to check whether that article has been indexed or not. Then you have to check in the website. Okay, so you have to take one article from that, and you have to check in this database, so it was indexed or not. Okay, so if they have more than 6 months backlog, and you submit the article to them, it may be published. You can say, I have published an article in the Scopus index database, so a Scopus database, but your article will not be indexed in Scopus because they have 6 months lagging. That means they might not follow some the rules defined by Scopus. It may be under consideration. Either it may be retained or it may go out from the Scopus. If it is going out from the Scopus, your article may not be indexed. Okay, so nowadays you have to remember another thing also. Even your article is indexed in Scopus, if it is not found worthy, they are removing the article from the Scopus list. Okay, so you have to clearly understand, you have to clearly verify, and you have to submit the articles. Okay, right. Okay, and also some lot of fake websites are coming, you have to go to this Scopus, and you go to ensure the website by clicking here, source homepage. Okay, here you can set. If you are submitting the Scopus database, Scopus, you can go in this way, whether the provider websites or the floater website in the public or floater website through the advertisement is correct or not, you have to ensure. Okay, so lot of fake journals are emerging. Okay, so you cannot imagine, daily we are getting mail. Okay, so that you have to ensure. Okay, so these are the two index databases. So even though Scopus articles, Scopus research journals are quality are maintaining quality, but the research community, the perception, funding agencies, accreditation agencies are giving much more importance to the journals which are having impact factor, that is SCAE journals. So that you have to keep in your mind. Okay. So now, how to publish a quality work? Okay. So if you are ready to publish your work, what are the do's and don'ts? Okay. So you should not publish outdated work. You should not publish the duplication of the work which was published by others. You should not publish a work which is having incorrect conclusions. Okay, so if you have written some work, if you have written some research articles, if it is outdated, during the literature review itself, you will find whether your work is worthy or not, whether the work already has been published or not, whether your work is outdated or not, you will come to understand. Okay, and after preparing article, you should go for plagiarism checking. That too with the standard plagiarism softwares. Don't go with the online plagiarism. So we will see in the later slides. Okay, and what you should do when you can go for publishing research articles. Okay, so you have to go for up-to-date review of the subject. So are you doing in the niche area? You are doing work in the emerging area. So you have to ensure that. Okay, so whether you have very good enhancement with the published work which has been done already. Okay, you have to ensure whether some contribution has been done, whether and some enhancement has been done or not. So that you have to ensure. Okay, then the original results are methods. Okay, so you have used original methods or results, so that you need to ensure. So what are the types of research articles or manuscripts? Okay, so it may be research paper, it may be a review article, or it may be a short communication, it may be case studies, it may be methods paper. So you should first you have to conclude. So what type of article I am writing? So am I going to write research article or short communication or review article or case studies or methods paper? So you have to decide yourself. So research paper is a common, everyone is submitting research papers, it may be original or research articles. So it may contain introduction, methods, results, and discussion sections. So when the research format is suitable for many different fields or different types of studies. Okay, so these research papers or research articles you have to ensure. Then if it is review articles, so you have to collect the similar articles. At least 100 research articles should be collected in the recent areas. Then you have to summarize their findings, and you have to review that and what is the work which has not been done earlier, or if you find any gap in the field which might not have been done, so then you have to report and you have to publish. You can publish as research articles, review articles. Okay, so you should give a comprehensive summary of the research of the certain topic. Okay, so you should not collect from the different topics and you have to summarize and you can go for publication. So that is not correct. Okay, so you have to choose a particular topic and which may be emerging, so that you have to collect and you have to go for publications. Short publications. So it is a brief report data of the original research. Okay, so the original research article may have number of pages, so many number of pages. And there may not be a content of number of words, but short communications, so that word limitation will be there. It should be brief communications, brief communications. It's a just short length papers. It should not papers. You should not provide much more results. So the important results should have been provided. Important results should only be provided in the short communications. Okay, case studies. Most of these case studies will be related to the people, those who work in industrial engineering or maybe working on arts and humanities will go for publishing research articles in this type of case studies. Okay, so scientific instances of interesting phenomena you can publish for case studies, or you can goal of case studies is to make other researchers aware of a possibility that a specific phenomenon might occur. Okay, so in that way you have to select the case studies and you can report as the case study research article. Okay, and method purpose, when you present a new experimental method or tests or procedures, so that can be published as a method paper, and the it may be a completely new method, or some method, existing method might have been enhanced. So that can also be published. In the article should describe demonstrable advance in the and what is currently available. So, okay, so the very good advancement in the method, existing method or a new method should be reported through this method papers. Okay, then how should be a research section of the research paper? How should be a section of the research paper? Then it should have title, it should have abstract, it should have keywords, it should have introduction and materials and methods, result and discussion, conclusions, acknowledgements, reference and support materials. So these are some standard structures. Standard structures should be followed when you writing article for a quality journals or quality publications. Okay. Research paper structures, title. The title, it should readily abstract the readers. Okay, it should really abstract the readers. Okay, so you should concisely report the work what you have done in the particular research articles. Okay, the title should report. Okay, it should be very concise, it should be very informative, it should be very meaningful, and it should be focused one. The title should be very focused one. Okay, so by seeing the title, it should attract the readers. Okay, so if it is not interesting, then the reader will not go by seeing the title. If the reader is not getting attracted, then he will not go inside. If he is not going inside, if he is not reading, then your paper will not be cited. If your paper is not cited properly, then you may not be a quality researcher. Okay, so if your paper needs to be cited much more, then the title should be very concise, informative, meaningful. Okay, and also you should search for a niche area or emerging area. Okay, so see, there's some of the titles I have given. Experimental and numerical analysis of additively manufactured stainless steel. So clearly indicated that they have followed experimental method, they have followed numerical simulation, they have used additive manufacturing process, and stainless steel material has been manufactured through additive manufacturing. So clearly it is being exposed to the readers. Then the next step is systematic review on recent trends in additive manufacturing. So they have collected different literatures in the additive manufacturing field. They have done some very good literature review in order to explore the new recent trends. Okay, it is clearly mentioning. Okay, and see, I have cited a article, Progress in Material Science, which is having around impact for 39.5 something, 39.5, Progress in Material Science. So additive manufacturing of metallic components, process, structure, and properties. Okay, so they have clearly said whether they have used polymer material or material structures. So they have clearly mentioned. They have mentioned the what is the manufacturing process they have reviewed. So they have reviewed the process and what are the structures and what are the properties of the manufactured components. So they have clearly mentioned. Okay, so because of the focus, because it is informative, because it is meaningful, it is very concise, this has been published in a journal which is having the impact factor of 39.47 something. Okay, Progress in Material Science. Okay, so like that you have to choose your titles. Okay, then how should be the abstract? Okay, then abstract. Okay, so abstract, it's a preview. Okay, so it's a summary. It's a summary. So what the reader will do, for the reader will be getting attracted towards the paper through the title, after the title, he will read the abstract. Okay, so this by reading the abstract itself, he will think further whether I should read further or not. Okay, then the abstract should be very concise, very focused. Abstract should be very focused. Should be little less technical than the article itself. Okay, so you should not give more technical information in the abstract itself. You should not give more information. Okay, so as how you have given in the research articles, in the full other further text. Okay, you should. Okay, so it should have 100 to 250 words. Okay, so while receiving the abstract, we are seeing in the nowadays the journal itself restricting the abstract which is going beyond 250 words. Now it is being restricted, but some other journals does not do. But when you go for 300, 350 words, then the reviewer will get boredom first. Primarily, it will not pass through the review process. It may not be published. Okay, but it is not easy to include all the information in just a few words. But you have to do. If only it is done, you can go for publishing a very good research article, research journals. Okay, and also you should not use any abbreviations in the abbreviation or the citation. Okay, so people are giving citation in the abstract. It seems to be very pathetic. Okay, should not give citation in the abstract. Okay, so and also you should not use any abbreviations unless it is very famous. DNA. If you are giving DNA, then everybody knows what is DNA. Okay, so some of the term which might have been formed by yourself, by thinking yourself, you will put that word in the abstract. Others know like that. It is not like that. Okay. Established abbreviations can be used in the abstract. Okay, so some abstract I have given here, one abstract. Okay, so it is, this article has been written by an editor, a founding editor of a journal. He is an Indian. So I have given here. See how beautifully he has written the abstract. Okay, it's very concise. Okay, so it is telling about what is the process used, how the metallic commons properties and fabricated structures are being reviewed, being written, or being focused in this. Okay, so he has clearly mentioned. Okay, so like this, your abstract should be. Okay, see, this paper has been published in 2017. Okay, okay, but this article has 2,900 citations. Imagine, only within 3 years, it cost around 3,000 citations. It is not at all easy. It's not at all possible. Okay, since he has clearly mentioned it was abstracting, it is being attracting the readers. It is focusing on new. It is focusing on new area. New information are given. It has that much citations. Okay, so clearly you would do that. And keywords. So keywords is being used for index. If someone is searching, then based on the keywords only, your article will come first. Okay, so keyword is a label for the many manuscripts. Okay, it is being used for indexing and abstract services. It should be very specific. And as I said, established abbreviations can be used. Okay, see, this is a keyword: additive manufacturing, 3D printing, powder bed fusion, direct energy deposition, laser deposition, and printability. Okay, so printability. So like this, your keyword should attract. Okay, so nowadays additive manufacturing is emerging like anything. So everyone is spelling out this additive manufacturing term and 3D printing. Okay, so if additive manufacturing is typed in the Google, so some articles this will come. Okay, so like that you have to define your keywords. Okay, so in the research paper structure, how should be the introduction? Okay, so introduction, it should give you a brief context to the readers. Okay, it should address the problem. So what is the existing work? What is the problem what is the problem? Okay, so that means at the end of your introduction, you should write the research gap. Okay, so in the introduction itself, you should give some literatures. You should review the literature. So you should not, or you do not need to form a separate heading called literature review. Now people are writing like that: literature review, introduction, literature review, then something they are writing. It should not like that. literature review, you do not need to write a separate heading literature review. So literatures can be reviewed and that can be addressed in the introduction itself. Okay, at the end of the introduction, you should define your review literature, problem identification. So at the introduction, so you should this author has done this thing, this author has done this thing, but much more work, not much more work has been concentrated in the so and so work. Hence, I am taking an initiative in this by so and so by incorporating these things. So like that, your introduction should be end. Okay, so introduction should be very context to the readers. Okay, it should address the problems, and also you can say about solution. That I said, so solution. So this work have been done. This works have been done. So this has not been done. This work is going to be addressed in this article. So like that, you have to provide. Okay. So introduction. After the abstract and keyword, introduction will be read out by the readers. Okay. So you should carefully write that. Okay. And also I forgot to say one thing. The abstract. Okay. So while writing the abstract should end with the concluding remarks. Okay. All the abstract should not be it should not be hanging like this. There's something. Okay. So it should be ended with a concluding remarks. Okay. So by with this, what you are trying to say. Okay. Whether the research community will get benefit from this or not. So how other communities are going to get benefited. Okay, so it should be addressed with their concluding remarks in the abstract. Okay, so materials and method. Okay, you want to clearly describe how the problem was studied. Okay, so you should give the detailed information about the materials and methods, and you should not describe the previously published procedures. Okay, so previously published procedures can come in the introduction section. Okay, introduction section, you can say the so and so authors has done this, so and so. So you can review and you can give the information in the introduction. But in the materials and method, you should not describe the previously published procedures. You have to say your own procedure and what you have followed. Okay, so you should say about the equipments, what are the materials used, and if it is if the experiments have been conducted on humans or animals, then whether the correct ethics standards have been followed or not, that things should have been given in the materials and methods. Okay. So the result sections is very, very important. Okay, result and discussions is like a heart for any research articles. Okay, so the result and discussion, more concentration should be focused on result and discussion. It's a heart. Okay, how human cannot live without heart. The research paper within the research article without result and discussion in a strong way will not be worthy. Okay, so you have to go like that. Okay, you have to include only the data of primarily importance. Okay, so you should not write the unnecessary data in the result and discussion. Okay, so which are required results, so that thing should only be provided in the results. You have to use subheading to the subheading to keep results of the same type together. Okay, so if you are finding some similar results, similar works together, then that should come under a same group together, and it can be given as subheading. Okay, so but while grouping also, you should not. So while you are giving something like microsection analysis, you are giving you have given say microsection analysis. You should not bring mechanical behaviors under this. Or the unit characterization which is under mechanical behavior should not come this. Or while writing mechanical characterization, you should not come bring microstructure between in the groupings. Okay, so properly it has to be grouped together. So similar results can be grouped together, similar characteristics grouped together, and they can be brought under subheadings. Okay, so be clear and easy to understand. Okay, so you should be easily understood by the readers. It should be simple logic, simple language. It should be reader. Okay, so the main finding should be highlighted in the result and discussions, and future unexpected findings you can. And you should not give something. You should provide a statistical analysis. Mostly, you have to give figures and charts. Okay, so it is very essential. Okay, so include illustration figures. Okay, so illustration figures, more figures and illustrations should be included in the resultant section. Okay, rather than writing story. Okay, and also in resultant discussion, you should not cite the work which have been. I mean, you should not copy down any work from the or any procedure from others published work. Okay, so here you should not write. The story can be written only in the introduction. Okay, so no story should be written in the other sections. So discussion, so it gives the interpretation of the results. So how you should, if a parameter, if you have graph, so by increasing this parameter is increasing. So you should not write like that. Why it is increasing like that? So what is the reason behind that? So that you need to do, you need to interpret correctly. Okay, so you should not find. So if by observing the graph itself, everyone will come and understand. So x is increasing, y is increasing. So it should not be like that. So why it is getting increased? So what is the scientific reason behind that? So that should be given in the discussion. Okay, so it is very important section, as I said. Okay, so here you can compare the published results with your own. Okay, published results. Okay, so you might have got some improvement than the published work. So that can be cited here. Okay, that can be cited here. Okay, and you should be very careful to not use the following. Okay, so some of the things you might have on your own speculations or possible interpretation. Okay, so that might be from your imagination. So that should not be given in the discussion. So you should imagine something. I should not give like that. Okay, so it should be scientifically correct, or it might have been quoted from other literatures, other researcher reports. Okay, so you should not do non-specific expressions. Okay, you should not go with the new terms which has not been already defined or mentioned in your paper, right? Okay, and statements that go beyond what results can support. Okay, so you have to carefully do this. Conclusion, it should be very clear. It should provide the justification for your work. You have to explain how your work advances the present state of knowledge. So that should be given in the conclusion. You can assess the future experiment also in the conclusions. Okay. So if you follow properly, if you write in this way, certainly you can aim your article to be published in a high quality journals, high impact factor journals. Okay. And figures and tables. Okay, so figures and tables will drawing a table for the table, caption should be above the table. For figures, caption should be below the figure. Okay, so most of the researchers are not following like that. Okay, so if you are submitting a paper like that, then the reviewer will get tense. Okay, so these are the essential understanding for researchers. If the researcher has not understood this thing correctly, then how the research article might have been written in a good way. Okay, so whatever the contents, what I have discussed, what I have said earlier, so you should follow. If you are giving citation in the abstract, then by seeing the abstract itself, the reviewer will reject your paper, because it should not be done. And also in materials and method, if you are giving the procedure, if you are copying the procedure from some other's work, then how the research article will be accepted? Okay, so you have to clearly do that. Okay, then while labeling the figures or tables, you should appropriately you have to label. Okay, so and axis also for a graph, axis should be appropriately labeled. Okay, so in the table, if you are using any symbol, you should node symbols should be used. Node symbols can be used. Okay, okay. So and by your figures should be very attractive. Okay, so you should not go for a grounded plots. Okay, so you should not include long boring sentences in naming the table or naming the figures. Okay, so references, too many references you should not use. what are the research articles you have referred, that can be used, and you should strictly follow the guidance to the authors or guide for the authors. You should follow them. Okay. Sorry. You avoid excessive self citations. Okay, you are self citations. Self citation means you cannot cite your own institute papers, or you cannot cite your papers. Okay, so you can go for 3 to maximum. You can go for 3 to 5. You can go. If you go beyond that, it seems to be very ugly. Okay, some of the researchers who are living, we are finding that. So if 50 references have been given, 20 references or 25 references from his own publications. So by seeing this, immediately the reviewer will reject the article. Okay, so you can, the important citation, say on the respective area, on the correct, on the scope of the article, you can cite your own articles. Okay, so proper scientific language should be used while writing that. Okay, so the sentences should be very clear, short and direct. Okay, so you have to convey one piece of information per sentence. Okay, so the sentence also should be very lengthy sentence. It should not be like that. Okay, so you break down the sentences and you should properly write. Okay, so what is the difference between thesis versus articles? Okay, so thesis is for only academic requirements, and for article it's the requirement for the journal as per the standards. Thesis will be reviewed by the selected committee members. Review article will be reviewed by the blind reviewers. Thesis you will write as a chapters. It may be lengthy. There may be no word limitations. Okay, here we have word limitations, and article should be written as sections. There is a difference between chapters and sections. Okay, so you have to follow some format defined by the university. Here you have to follow the instructions provided by the journal articles. Okay, so in the thesis you can present all findings, but in the articles you can present only selected findings. Okay. Okay, how to select a journal? So you have to select a journal based on aim and scope, accepted type of articles. You have to go through the articles, how they have accepted, and readerships, whether the readership can be defined by the impact factors, right? So if it's having more impact factors, then readers may be very good for the particular journals. Okay. And current hot topics and other guidance you have to properly review, and you will do that. B review process. So as I said, so it will be sent to the reviewer, maybe single blend review or maybe double blend review, or it may be sent to the more than 2 reviewers. So they will check for the quality, validity, significance, and originality of the research. And the review comments will help you to improve the quality of the article. And publishers are outside the academic process are not prone to the prejudice of further. Okay. So tips for submitting for a journal: you have to take your own time with the journal selection, read the author guidelines, consider submitting a brief report or short communications. You have to properly read your language. Okay, so if any doubt, you can reach out to the editor-in-chief or associate editor. If your work requires ethics committee approval, so you should do that. Okay, you have to clear, concise, and logical story, and you have to provide very brief context. Okay, and authors, and you have to, the article must not have been previously published, as I said. Obtain the necessary permissions. So if you copied figure from some other articles or something else, you have to properly get permission. Obtain any necessary privacy waivers and compliance with the research standards. Okay, and agreement of all co-authors. You should get the agreement from all the co-authors before publishing. Okay, correct citation is the key. You have to give the correct citation to place your work in the context. To acknowledge, you have to properly acknowledge the finding of others which you have built your research. Okay, so you may refer some articles, and without citing your article, you should not do that. It is not ethics. Okay, so don't forget to cite your own previous works if it hasn't published elsewhere. Okay, self-plagiarism is a gray area, but plagiarism software will still flop. It has a problem. Okay, self-plagiarism also should be avoided. Okay, so plagiarism, whether we have taken data or words or phrases or idea or concepts, should have been carefully removed. And if you are copying from any content from others, it should be you should give the credit or acknowledgement, and also you should get proper permission. And plagiarism may be of six type. It may be falling under any one of this category. And it may be global plagiarism, means you entire content might have been copied from some other works. And parabolism plagiarisms, some other ideas without citing some other work, you will take from their wordings from them, and you will paraphrase, and you will not cite them. Then that is a serious plagiarism. And verbatim plagiarisms, so directly copying and pasting is text without citation. There is a verbatim plagiarism, and mosaic plagiarism, combining text and ideas from different sources without citations. Okay, you will collect different sources and you will combine their ideas and you will not cite them. So that is mosaic plagiarism. Self plagiarism, your own work. Okay, so that is moderate only, that will not have serious effects. But other four, what I said earlier, will have serious in nature. And incorrect citations, if it is not properly cited, then that also will be coming in plagiarisms. Okay, so citation should be properly. Okay, so if you are writing like that, then how the author, if a Pan et al., then Pan et al. Showed the cancelling classes in the student grades, so you have to properly cite that. Okay, so these are writing references. So the Pan is the and also you have to clearly understand, you should not use any initial while citing. Here, see, P. Pan is the name of the author. You should not use P. Pan et al. You should not use like that. Pan et al. You should use like that. Okay. Plagiarism checker. So online plagiarism is available, but it will not much more give correct results. So you got to go for the correct plagiarism software. You can go for Authenticate, or you can go for Turnitin. So okay, these are the two softwares which are highly used by the journals. Okay, so you go for sorry, Authenticate or Turnitin. So writing references, you have to clearly write the references, and you have to properly obtain permissions. If you are using these things, any contacts, or you are copying any sentences, you are copying any tables and figures, you have to use proper permission from the publishers. Rights links will be giving freely permissions from any journals. Okay, so let me explain how when the permission is not required. Okay, if you use one figure, if you use unpublished work, then you do not need to get permission from others. If you are reprinting published figure in a modified form, then citation is not required. Okay, so someone might have given some figure in their research article. You are reprinting the published figure, then you do not get permission from the current frame. Okay, then if you have plotted a graph from the data of the published sources, so they may have given some published data and they have given plots. Then if you are taking the plot and you are plotting the figure in different way, then you do not get permission from them. Okay, for example, see, I'm sorry. So for reprinted public figure in a modified form, let me show an example. Okay, see, this is the figure published in an article, and the author modifies the figure like that, then you do not need to get permission for that. No permission is required. Okay, then plotted graph. So this is the plot presented by some other researcher, and the data is being taken and it is presented in the different form like this. Okay, so exactly data is extracted and presented in the different form. So you do not need to get permission from others. Okay, but when permission is secured, you are reprinting a published figure as it is. Your published figure is used as it is, then you have to get permission from them. For example, this is the published figure. If you want to use the figure like this, as it is, if you want to use the figure, then you have to get permission. and reprinted or published a figure with minor modifications. Okay, so if you are doing minor modification, then certainly you get permission from others. Okay, so permission can be availed from rights link. Rights links, you can avail the permissions. Okay. So it will take much more time to explain. Hence, I'm avoiding that. And reprint permissions. So if it is open access journals, then you do not need to get permission from others. Okay. So you're clicking here, and you can find this is an open access article and distributed under the Creative Commons attribution licenses. Okay. So if it is like this, if it is mentioned like this, you do not get permission from others. Open access, you have to see in common rules. Okay, so share, copy and distribute the material in any medium or format. You are free. Okay, so then you can copy any figure, you can copy or any table. Okay, your copy any part, then it does not require any permission from the publishers. Okay, and in the other journals, these are open access, MDPA, HINDA, are open access journals, but other journals also, some of the, so they may be providing the article on the subscription basis, and also some of the articles might be published in the open access form. Okay, so open access. So see, it is clearly given as open access. Okay, and also you can ensure that whether the Creative Commons license is given or not. So you can ensure. Okay, see, you can go for rights and permissions. You can go for rights and permissions. Okay, you go for rights and permissions. Here, see, so article is distributed under terms of Creative Commons CC BY licenses. Okay, so which permits unrestricted use, distribution, reproduction in any medium, are provided in the original form. Okay, so you do not need to get permission for these articles. Okay. So these are the references what I have referred, without which I might not be able to provide my lecture in an efficient way. I have referred the Scopus databases. I have referred the clarivate analysis, Web of Science databases to provide the lectures. And also, I referred the article from the Progress in Material Science, which was written by Dr. D. Debray, who is working in Princeton University, and he is the founding editor for Journal of Science and Building. So he is the founding editor. So I have referred his paper also to provide this lecture in an efficient way. Okay. So this is my credential. So I have published 125 research articles on this my citation, and this is citation and 𝐊𝐚𝐦𝐢𝐥 what I have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So thank you very much, sir. Dr. Krishna sir, 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐲 sir, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
You have shared your knowledge to our faculty member, and also I think your college participant is also available in this online. So I like to thank everybody for attending this session. So on behalf of Sri Krishna College of Technology and Department of Mechanical Engineering and my own behalf, I like to thank you one more time, sir. And I also like to thank the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Santosh, for initiating and arranging this program. Thank you. Thank you all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I thank all the authorities for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Sir. Thank you.
Santosh, sir, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. 𝐊𝐴𝐚𝐲 sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much.